I saw it again. I saw Sonic 3 movie again in theaters yesterday, and I will say that I'm very happy that it's doing extremely well in the box office right now. It's well deserved. I think this movie is fantastic. I just can't get enough of it. I loved the voice acting from everybody. I think Keanu Reeves is Shadow the Hedgehog. I don't think there's any denying that. I don't know what timeline portal is opening up at this point. But he definitely was made for that character. I loved, honestly, I don't hear a lot of love for Agent Stone, that actor, Lee Midget, but I think he does. If I said his name wrong, I apologize. But he does a fantastic job, and I loved the dynamic between him and Dr. Robotnik on Jim Carrey, and it was fun. It was a lot of fun. I think this whole franchise is fantastic, and I think movie after movie after movie, they've done nothing but improve the formula, nothing but improve the series, and the character art, the CG, the world's expansion situation, like just the way it's done. It's so clear that fan involvement is there and influencing the story. And as a fan myself of Sonic Adventure 2, especially, because I'm one of those Sonic fans that memorized like the lines from Sonic Adventure 2, and to see that in the movie, and to see pivotal scenes from Sonic Adventure 2 played out on the big screen, with the epic music and everything, every time I see it, I get thrilled. It is amazing, and kudos to Jeff Fowler and the folks at Paramount for putting this together and for fighting Mickey Mouse. Get him. get the mouse. Get him. Deserved. Well deserved praise. It may not be an Oscar winner. It may not be. So what? It's fun. It's fun. I think we need this. I think folks need the silliness. We need the fun. We need, folks like Keanu Reeves and Ben Schwartz and, Tika Sumpter and, James Marsden, of course, James Marsden. All the fantastic people that put this together. We need that. We really do, especially going forward into the unknown next year. I think, especially here in the United States, which I'm rolling my eyes. But anyway, I won't talk any more about that. Especially not a Sonic stream, for goodness sake. That's asking for trouble. But yeah, no, I think that, honestly, I think that this movie it's worth it. It's worth the watch. It's worth, it's worth rewatching in the theaters. Support this film. Support the folks that put it together. And, they're already making Sonic 4. I'm not going to spoil it. I know folks already have online, and I'm upset about that, for sure, because I don't think it's cool. I'm an older person, and I just get so upset when I see pivotal scenes being leaked on YouTube and all this nonsense. I'm just like, really, folks? Come on. I don't know. People forgot etiquette when it comes to movies. But I think that it's definitely worth seeing for yourself. And if you haven't spoiled yourself yet, good. It's definitely worth the wait if you want to wait until it goes, to DVD or streaming or whatever. It probably will in the next couple of months. But, given the showing, it'll probably stay in the theaters for a while. So, you got time, make the time, go see this movie, because it's worth it. It's worth it for sure. And I could tell there was a lot of love for the Sonic franchise that was in this movie. And I am so happy that, this is here. In this timeline of all timelines, it's here. And, Sonic 4, I'm curious to see what they'll do. That's all I'm going to say. I'm just curious to see what they're going to do. I know the Sonic games very well. So I know what they're leaning into, and I'm just going to say, I'm just going to leave it at that. I'm just going to say I'm curious. I'm curious to see what they're going to do. Let's see. Because like I said, it just seems like the pattern is every single movie things keep getting better. So I'm really happy that this is out in the world Sonic franchise too. And I could tell, like, when I watched the movie, even on rewatch, just how much everybody just put their heart into this, this goofy talking hedgehog movie. Because when you think about it, like, the plot, especially Shadow the Hedgehog, which I might play in future streams, the 05 Shadow the Hedgehog game, oh my goodness. That was, if you want to talk silly, some of the stories in that game were really out there, really weird. Just non sequiturs everywhere. This franchise can be it can be over the top for sure. And I'm glad that the people that put this movie together, they're in spirit with that too. they know what they're dealing with and who they're dealing with when it comes to Sonic fans. And we are a colorful bunch. We are interesting folks with a varied background, and myself included. Because growing up, I mean, I was the kid that got bullied a lot for, just being myself. And my Sonic drawings and my video game obsession, that's part of what carried me through some really difficult points in my life. And playing, these ridiculous games over the years has, helped me, get through a lot. And, seeing this movie, I was like, okay. They know who their audience is, and for most movies these days, I think that gives me hope, for movie making in the future, because there's so much crap going on right now with like corporation nonsense and political bullshit, and honestly, I'm glad. I mean, Paramount is no indie studio. Paramount is a big time studio. Let's make no mistake. And Sega as well. They're big corporations. They know what they're doing. But at the same time, the fact that this director decided to honor its very niche fan base is impressive, to say the least, because most corporations don't do that. I'm going to start monitoring my swears to make the editing process easier. It's one of those situations where I'm glad that this movie has progressed in the way that it has. And I remember when the initial Ugly Sonic came out. And they had Gangster's Paradise. And I was like, okay. Oh no. And I'm so thankful that whoever was in charge of making this movie, they actually took that criticism into account, and they changed the movie. They changed the characters. They changed the plot just slightly. They changed things over time, adding more and more feedback from the fans, and, sharing more and more of this world in the way that we as fans view it. And I think that is interesting to me because, again, most corporation movie companies don't do that. So kudos to Paramount. Kudos to these folks for putting this together and for being brave enough to do this, to appeal to such a niche fandom. Congrats to you. And I applaud that. That is fantastic. And I am so proud to be a Sonic fan at this point in my life. I don't usually say that. Because like I said, being a Sonic fan is interesting. And I honestly have been in different fandom spaces before. I've played D&D before. I've gone through and done like different gaming. I've done furry conventions before. I've dabbled in furry for a bit. I'm a My Little Pony fan as well. Not G4 per se. I'm really more of a 1980s G1 pony fan, which I might talk about on another stream sometime. I will definitely next week with my project that's going on behind me. Spoiler alert. Talking about spoiler alert. I've been doing that for years and years too. My Little Pony and Sonic the Hedgehog is the two fandoms that have really carried me through, and Sonic in particular, especially in my teen years too. My angsty teen years represented best by Hot Topic. this black and red hedgehog with the same nickname. You know, it's just very interesting how things are starting to come full circle. You know, I don't know if that's part of the aging process too. I could wax poetic about that for a while, but you know, as I've noticed that as I gotten older, you know, what's old is new again, right? I think there's that saying where you know, I'm looking at the Sonic franchise is, gosh, over 30 years old at this point. And, you know, the My Little Pony franchise is 40 years old. And, you know, it's all coming back around. Not so much with My Little Pony, which I'll talk about next time, but, yeah, the Sonic franchise, though, definitely one to watch out for, I think. And that's good. Good. Let's get the competition going. Let's get these corporations, like, to wake up and recognize, like, hey, you know, do we really want to be in the Matrix? You know, do we want to, you know, which pill do we want to take? Is there a pill to take? I think one big pill to swallow for Disney is the fact that, you know, other companies are going to start stepping up. And I also think it's so critical to, speaking of artists and writers, you know, it's so important right now that we support folks that are getting into these industries, into these creative industries. I think now more than ever, especially with the rise of AI, generative AI in particular, and with, you know, all that stuff. And I could probably do a whole Twitch stream about that, but I'm not gonna. You know, because I've read, you know, a lot of those fiction books that are now starting to read more like, you know, some bizarre factual information. You know, 1984 and 2001: A Space Odyssey, and Ray Bradbury stories. Fahrenheit 451 in particular was one that I think of when I think of this day and age. Animal Farm was another one, but it's like, you know, Orson Welles and you know, this kind of stuff. It's been this is stuff that, you know, has been on the minds of folks for a long time, and now, you know, with the age of the computer, we're here. And, you know, I think I'm not going to spoil anything here movie wise, but I will say that, you know, we do have a crossroads ahead of us, so it'll be interesting. It will be interesting to see the way that creative folks are going to go, and the way that, you know, that human sense of creativity will be valued. And I definitely feel that the passion that's in this particular project shows me hope for the future going forward in terms of creative, you know, identity and edit, and all that fun stuff. So we'll see. I mean, I think that at any rate, this is a good movie. Please go see it. Before I lose the plot entirely myself. Start drifting off into the depths of space. Speaking of depths of space, let's go back to white space. Let's go into Shadow Generations. Sonic and Shadow Generations.